Okay, hey everybody. It's Sean Hatzel here with Get Lean in 12. Thanks for your patience. If you've been waiting, we've been having some technical difficulties and my tech team is working on it. We are having issues getting the screen share to work. And my intention here was to go on video live with you guys and just be face to face at the beginning of the presentation and then again at the end, but I'm afraid if I go to the webcam, the screen share is going to lock up and not work like it was just doing to me. There's a glitch, something's going on with it. So instead of going on video right now, what I'll do is at the end of the webinar, I'll stick around and turn on my webcam and I'll answer any questions that you may have. So first of all, thank you for taking time out of your busy day to register and join us here. And I'm excited about all the information. I have some amazing content. So I promise you that when you walk away from this webinar, you're going to have a whole new level of knowledge. So let's dive right in here. How to unlock the 4 hidden keys necessary to transform your body in record time. And then, of course, I'm going to cover the 4 biggest diet and exercise myths stopping you from reclaiming your young, attractive, healthy, and energetic body once and for all. And hopefully we can get it working. So congratulations. And why do I say congratulations? Well, the numbers don't lie. 34.9% of Americans are now considered overweight and 68.6% are overweight or obese. Now, it doesn't matter whether or not you fall into one of those categories or not. I want to thank you for being a 5%er. And what is a 5%er? It's someone who is willing to take time out of their busy schedule to invest in their health and their future like you're doing right now. The simple fact of the matter is 95% of the population is not going to act upon that. So I want to thank you for being a 5%er because time is our most precious commodity and you're taking time out of your busy schedule to be here. So I have a favor to ask, and I wish I could do this here. I'm sitting out in Lanai here in Florida recording this. So I apologize in advance if there's any background noise. A really noisy plane just went over. And I'm hoping it doesn't happen during this presentation, but I just want to give everybody a heads up. And then do yourself a favor, no matter what device you're on, I recommend that you get on a tablet or a desktop, but make sure you go airplane mode. This is important. This will avoid all distractions. So you can close the door, turn off Skype, turn your smartphone on silent or put it on airplane mode and pay close attention. And first of all, let's uncover the big elephant in the room. See, I'm sure you've heard it all by now. All about the secrets and the myths and the pills and the potions and the lotions. It's always about, what to avoid, what to never eat. These claims nowadays are ridiculous. How to lose 2 pounds of belly fat overnight while you sleep, yada, yada, yada. So my promise to you is I'm going to teach you step by step how to unlock the 4 hidden keys to transforming your body in record time. These are the same keys Karen and I have used for years. It's the same keys that our Get Lean in 12 transformation superstars have used. And I'm also going to uncover the 4 biggest myths that every dieter must avoid if they want to lose belly fat and reclaim their attractive, healthy, energetic body once and for all. So I promise that I'll have you out of here within an hour. Last time we landed right on the hour mark. And because you're a 5%er, all you have to do is follow the guidelines and tips inside this training, and you will be smarter in an hour from now and know exactly how to transform your body in record time. Now, if I deliver on my promise, do I have your permission to take 10 minutes and show you how you can go deeper and take your body and life to the next level afterwards? If that sounds fair, do me a favor and please type yes in the chat box. There is about maybe a few second delay on this, so you guys are hearing me about 10 seconds afterwards. So do me a favor and type yes in the chat box. I also want to give you a few incentives to take notes and pay close attention. All right, here comes all the yeses. Good job. All right, Alan, Victoria, Glenn, Boris, Kevin, Dorothy, thank you. Okay, so simply stick around to the very end, and we will give you 2 additional free bonuses. The first gift is you'll get a complimentary copy of these slides in a PDF so that nothing is left out. I'm going to cover a lot of content. I'm going to kind of give you a drink of water with a fire hose. And I want to make sure that you have something in writing so that you can apply this whether you decide to take action or not. Free gift number 2 is a brand new audio I just recorded called The 7 Secrets of Get Lean in 12's Transformation Superstars. These 7 secrets actually have nothing to do with exercise or dieting, but without them, it makes it nearly impossible to transform your body. So I'm going to share these 7 secrets because it really, really is the tipping point and the difference maker. Now, If you're not familiar with me, you don't know who I am, why should you listen to me and my advice? Well, first of all, I'm just like you, and I'm going to share why in just a second. Second, I walk my talk. I have a proven track record, as you soon discover, and I don't say that to impress you, just to impress upon you that there is a lot of overweight personal trainers out there, dietitians, nutritionists, all that stuff. To me, that's like going to a dentist who has a big black tooth rotten grin when he smiles at you. I don't think you'd really trust that dentist. So I do walk my talk. And of course, I'm very proud that I am a 45-year-old grandpa. We have 3 grandchildren and 1 on the way in March. And I've maintained between 5 and 12% body fat for over 18 years. There might have been a few moments during the holidays where I got to about 15%, but in general, 90% of the time, I stay around 10 to 12% body fat year round. And I'll show you pictures here in a second. So if you haven't met my wife, Karen, here she is with our grandkids, Leo, Owen, and Stella's not pictured here because she wasn't born yet. So shh, don't tell my wife I don't have a picture with all 3 of the grandkids and us together. But here, this is our pride and joy. And the tips that I'm going to share with you in this presentation is how we keep up with these little guys. So here's why I'm just like you and how you can learn from my mistakes. When I was in my 20s, for 8 years straight, I exercised 10 to 12 hours per week, and I could not get rid of my belly fat. Now, you can see the picture here from January of 1998. Yes, I know I don't look fat, but keep in mind, this is about 18% body fat, and this was after 8 years of exercising 10 to 12 hours a week and trying any gimmick under the planet, on the planet. I was hanging around the wrong influences. I had toxic friends. I had toxic environments, no goals or direction in my life. And I'd wasted thousands of dollars trying to lose my belly fat. And then I had my aha moment when I picked up an issue of Muscle Media magazine from 1998. And at that time, I was going through a custody battle over my 6-year-old daughter, Jordan. And her mom and her family decided that she didn't need a dad and they didn't want me to be part of her life. And so that was my big reason why. That was my aha moment. I picked up this magazine. I started reading stories about fathers just like me who were struggling with their kids, but they had transformed their body. And as a result, it had transformed their life. And through this journey, that's when I discovered the 5 keys I'm going to share with you in just a second. Now, 90 days later, you can see my before and after here, my first runner-up finishing. There was over 22,000 contestants. I had a new body, and most importantly, I had a new life. And I was the first runner-up grand champion out of over 22,000 people. So it's not just about physical change. See that after picture of my body? That's just the bonus side effect. When this 90 days was up, I had mended broken relationships. All my debts were gone. I launched a new successful career in the fitness industry. And all of a sudden, I eliminated toxic friends from my life. And I forged new relationships with like-minded, successful people. And most important of all, I finally got joint legal custody rights of my 6-year-old daughter, Jordan. And here we are pictured at my stepdaughter's wedding a couple years ago together. And we are very, very close. And since that time, I have been a 1999 World Natural Sports Championships. I got 2nd place. I was recently, just a few years back, I was voted most fit health and fitness pro over 40 by Club Solutions magazine. I'm also a best-selling ebook author on nutrition and exercise. And then I was voted as a personal training studio franchise superstar. You can see the CD image here. So my wife Karen and I owned a personal training studio in Ann Arbor, Michigan for almost 6 years. And out of over 300 studios across the world, we were in the top 10 for 5 years in a row, and they selected me as a superstar. So again, I don't share any of this to impress you, just to impress upon you that here I am over 10 years later, and I continue to walk my talk. You can see my progress pictures here from 37 years old all the way to 44 years old. So just when I thought I had cracked the fat loss code, then it happened. I met my beautiful wife, Karen. Now, Karen's 11 years older than me, so I quickly discovered a lot about hormones being married to Karen. Shortly after we were married, she was diagnosed with colorectal cancer, and it destroyed her metabolism and her hormones. It put her into early onset menopause, and she had accumulation of upper belly fat, joint pain, fatigue, insomnia, typical side effects of getting treatments. We had tried everything after her treatments. We put her on the low-carb diet. We gave her cardio and more cardio. We tried circuit training. She even looked at doing synthetic hormones at one point in time. That's how desperate she was. Fat burner pills. And it was so bad at one point we even considered plastic surgery. We were talking about it because that's how bad her self-esteem was. But then I decided to go back to basics and do what I did way back in 1998, and it created synergy between her diet and exercise plan. And in a minute, I'm going to show you exactly how to do the same thing. We optimize her hormones naturally. I think I have about 6 or 7 tips that will show you exactly how to optimize your hormones like Karen did. We use specific movement patterns that were designed for her age and her current hormonal condition. So we changed the way that we approached exercise, and I'll share how we did that in just a second. And then we avoided mainstream nutrition advice, completely avoided it, and actually made a list of healthy foods and specific exercises that she actually should avoid. Now, after she used our unique system, here she is at 54 years old. You can see the menopause belly gone. Most important, Karen's self-esteem skyrocketed. I had my wife back. So 8 weeks later, she was 22 pounds lighter. You can see from the before and after pictures, she suddenly looked at least 10 years younger. Her hormones were balanced. And how did this all happen? Well, she used the 5 keys I'm going to share with you right now. So the same thing happened to my client, Marty from Northville, Michigan, who is not only able to reinvent himself by losing over 50 pounds, he became an inspiration to his wife and kids. I remember when I started working with Marty, his wife pulled me aside and told me that every night he comes home and he collapses on the couch and he never has energy to play with the kids. So it was really eating at her, and she wanted to see him make a change. So here you can see the amazing transformation he made. He lost over 50 pounds using the 5 keys inside this presentation. Remember, we've tried it all. You don't have to learn the hard way and make the same mistakes that we did. Right now, you can take shortcuts without wasting time and money like we did, simply by following the rarely talked about tips inside this free training. So here they are. The 4 biggest diet and exercise myths stopping you from reclaiming your young, attractive, healthy, and energetic body once and for all. 1 second here, I got to get a drink of water. All right. So myth number 1, as long as you focus on keeping your body in a calorie deficit, you'll lose weight consistently. The fact of the matter is that calorie deficits is a very, very, very small piece of the equation, and long-term calorie deficits can kill your metabolism. And I'm going to talk about why in a Biggest Loser study here in a second. But those who focus solely just on hormones instead of counting calories lose up to 65% more weight than those counting calories. And you can see a reference from the Journal of Obesity that I posted here. And throughout this presentation, I will make claims, but I want to know that I will back up these claims with peer-reviewed, scientific, published studies. Myth number 2, carbs are responsible for obesity and today's most deadly diseases. The fact is that strategically eating lots of the carbs the right way can actually boost your fat-burning hormones, help you burn more belly fat, and even help you live longer. And here's some examples and proof. There's a few tribes across the globe that thrived on high-carb diets, up to 70% for hundreds of years. And the overweight people in obesity and disease in these groups were non-existent. And again, there's a reference at the bottom of the screen. Now, what about now? Well, Japan and China still eat 50 to 65% of their calories from carbs, yet obesity rates are much, much lower than the rest of the world there. And then there's the blue zones. These are the areas of the world where more people live to be 100 than anywhere else. Okinawa in Japan has the most centurions, which people who live to be 100. They have 85% of their calorie intake coming from carbs prior to the 1950s. So I know this was a long time ago, but these people are still alive today because it's 2017, obviously. So this just goes to show you that carbs don't make you fat. Now, here's the one that will really put the nail in the carb coffin. All right, Chris Boyd. Chris protested when the government said that they were going to remove potatoes from the school children's feeding program. And he ate nothing but potatoes for 20 potatoes for 60 days in a row. 20 potatoes. Now, obviously, he wasn't eating French fries, but you can look at this chart. He lost over 20 pounds. His glucose, his cholesterol, and his triglycerides all improved dramatically from eating nothing but potatoes. So I'm not saying you should ever go eat a bunch of potatoes or go on a potato diet. That's just silly. But it does prove once and for all that despite all the bad press about high-carb foods like potatoes, that carbs don't make you fat. Myth number 3, you must eat 5 to 6 small, frequent meals or you'll slow down your metabolism and weight loss will stop. I believed this for years. In fact, I did it for years and I got great results. So it can and it does work, but it's not necessary. The fact is that small, frequent meals do not speed up your metabolism or help you lose more weight. The research and the published studies back it up. In fact, people who fast, so don't eat anything for 48 hours, actually increase their metabolic rate over 10%. Now, again, I would never recommend fasting for 48 hours unless it was some type of religious protocol or something like that you had to do. But it just goes to prove the point that small frequent meals do not speed up your metabolism. Yes, you can eat small frequent meals if you want to, but it's not necessary. So as you can see right here, I got a couple published studies. Controlled studies where one group eats many small meals and the other the same amount of food and fewer meals show that there's literally no difference between the two. So it's really all about your choices, right? And after you eat, especially protein, your metabolism is elevated slightly while you're digesting that meal, but it's the total amount of food that determines the energy used, not the number of meals. So you do not need to eat small frequent meals. Myth number 4, eating less and moving more is all that matters when trying to lose weight. Okay, yes, you do need to eat less and you do need to move more, but it's really more about making the right choices. And eating less and moving more, if you do it in an extreme way, it only leads to rebound weight gain and potentially can damage your metabolism. And here's a real world powerful example from the Biggest Loser contestants. So New York Times published an article about a study that was done on the season 8 contestants of The Biggest Loser. And out of 16 competitors, nearly all of them gained most, if not all, of their weight back. Some now weigh even more than before they started the contest. So why did this happen? Well, a couple reasons. First one's metabolic slowdown. When they measured their metabolisms a few years later after the show, their bodies were burning about 400 to 500 calories less per day than they were before they started the show, simply because of metabolic slowdown. See, I love, shows like The Biggest Loser can be inspiring, but they can also be misleading. So Jillian and Bob, they're very successful. I respect them, but they never address hormones. So that's a big issue, is the failure to address hormones. And then there's no synergy. They're either extreme dieting and extreme exercising at once. There's no synergy, and you need to create synergy. Plus too much cardio and regular exercise. Like you can see the 4 studies down here. When you become a cardio junkie, you suppress your thyroid, you release your belly fat hormone cortisol, you'll eat more than you normally would. Studies show that after cardio, most people eat 100 more calories than they just burned off, and it increases free radicals that age you faster. So there is specific times and specific ways to do cardio the right way, but cardio junkies will just destroy their hormones. And then they're using outdated and obsolete nutritional advice. Now you can probably see why most people fail and why it's not your fault. These are the myths that people believe. We can all thank big food, big pharma, and the internet. I mean, think about this. If you're not fat and sick, they don't make money. Plain and simple. They need you to be consuming their stuff. So that's why things like intermittent fasting don't gain a lot of popularity in the media circles, because if you're intermittent fasting 12 to 16 hours, 4 or 5 days of the week, who's making money? Nobody. And just look at the evidence, pretty obvious why we're getting fatter and sicker year after year. But you're not alone, because we are in this together. I went through it just like I told you I did in my 20s, and obviously it gets tougher as we get older now that I'm 45. Karen went through it. She's now 57. If you're watching this, you've probably been through it in some way too. But we finally overcame the confusion and misleading advice when we pinpointed the 4 hidden keys to transforming your body in record time. And that's why it's our passion, our mission, our duty. I feel like it's an obligation to transform over 1 million people's lives by 2020. We want people to learn the real truth about living a lean, healthy, and active lifestyle to experience the same benefits that have blessed our lives in ways that we could never imagine. So every person who follows these 4 keys step by step has something magical happen to their life. All of a sudden, day by day, you'll experience the power of synergy to visually see your body start to transform right before your eyes. So just imagine being eager to jump out of bed every morning like Karen did, excited to look in the mirror. You'll crave real, healthy, nutritious food instead of sugar and junk food, and it will actually taste delicious to you. You'll be able to eat your favorite sweet treats and cheat meals with zero guilt, but you won't crave them anymore. So there'll be a planned reward. And that's the benefits of this. And don't forget all the intangibles that are truly priceless. I mean, look at the laundry list. You'll feel more confident and sure of yourself. You'll have more purpose in your life. You'll be more driven, focused, and productive, clearer thinking, better memory. You'll have deeper, more meaningful relationships. You'll have the energy to keep up with your kids or grandkids like Karen and I. And let's not forget about the increased passion and libido in your love life. Hey, I'm just saying, tomorrow's Valentine's Day. You know what I mean? So these are the life changes you can never put a price tag on. And Don't you agree? If you'd like to see any one of these changes in your life, go ahead and type yes in the chat. I want to make sure everybody's energized and ready to learn exactly how to transform your body in record time with these hidden keys. So please type yes in the chat if you'd like to see any of these intangible benefits and have your dream body. So here it is. Here comes the yes. All right, cool. Chris, Rosanna, Jean, Glenn, thanks. Awesome. So here they are, the 4 hidden keys necessary to transform your body in record time. So body transformation key number 1, you must optimize your hormones first or you'll never lose stubborn belly fat. I'm going to give you 7 easy tips you can use right now to maximize your anti-aging and fat-burning hormones in just a second, but I want to cover all 4 keys first. Body transformation key number 2, you must customize your carb intake and cheat meals based on your activity level. So in a second, I'll provide you with a chart that you can print out and follow based on your personal needs. Body transformation key number 3, you must unlock the synergy between your diet and exercise plan like I discussed. This is the one that nobody ever talks about, but if it's missing, you most likely will fail. And I'll show you an infographic that will simplify your fat loss here in just a minute. Body transformation key number 4, you must create the right rewards and incentives. If there is one key that guarantees your success, this is it, is learning how to set up the right rewards and incentives so that you'll follow through. Wanting a flatter belly and wanting your dream body, wanting to live longer and avoid deadly diseases is not enough. You have to have body transformation key number 4 in place if you want to succeed short-term and long-term. So let's talk about body transformation key number 1. You must optimize your hormones first in order to become fat adapted and permanently lose belly fat. So after you turn age 35, the growth hormone levels inside your body decrease dramatically. This is called somatopause or growth hormone age-related deficiency. So it's in your best interest because growth hormone affects so many other hormones. By focusing on growth hormone, you can positively impact the other hormones in your body. So free tips to increase GH naturally. Here's 3 of them. First of all, don't eat 2 hours before bed. So eating before bed isn't necessarily going to make you fat if you make healthy choices, but it will raise insulin. Even if it's just protein, it will raise insulin. And when insulin is elevated, not only is it impossible for your body to burn belly fat, but when you go to bed, because insulin is the antagonist of growth hormone, it blunts growth hormone production while you sleep. So by eating a couple hours before bed, you could even have carbs in that meal if you want to. Just make sure you're having some protein with it. And wait 2 hours afterwards. Now insulin stabilizes so that when you go to sleep, you can release more growth hormone and recover faster. And it also helps regulate your serotonin. Strategic high-intensity exercise burst that we always talk about. The strategic high-intensity exercise burst that I gave to Karen when she was going through her transformation have been shown in published research to increase growth hormone 400 all the way up to 700%. Or you could try intermittent fasting like I mentioned earlier. I recommend about 4 or 5 days of the week for men who like to intermittent fast. Now, it's not for everybody, and fasting isn't the be-all, end-all. Some people respond better by not skipping breakfast. But just keep in mind the word breakfast. It's actually break fast, right? So it doesn't matter when that meal is. You just can push it back a little bit. So your last meal for men, for example, would be, say, 8 p.m. Well, then the next day you would break your fast somewhere around noon. So in general, 12 to 16 hours for men is the sweet spot. But at least 12 hours of fasting a day has been shown in research to help people lose more weight. And for women, I recommend you close this window down a little bit and you do the 14-10, so 12 to 14 hours of fasting. So last meal, let's say 8 p.m. Next meal the next morning would be 8 a.m. to 10 a.m., somewhere around there. So if you struggle with the thought of fasting and have never experimented with it before, I highly recommend it because it'll help you get control of your hunger hormones. And, the keys are to stay busy, drink a lot of water, find no-calorie bone broth, black coffee and green tea are fine, and then you could even chew gum if you wanted to. So the other free tips to optimize your hormones in record time. Use strategic refeeds and cheat meals at the right time. This will help you maximize your leptin sensitivity. Remember, it only takes about 6 or 7 days of low-carb dieting before leptin levels plummet up to 50%. A strategic refeed and cheat meal containing carbohydrates at the right time will spike insulin back or leptin back up for you and optimize your leptin sensitivity. Next thing to do is just to eat balanced meals. Anytime that you snack on a sugar or a carbohydrate or a starch by itself, I'm not talking about veggies, those, veggies aren't going to make anybody fat. I'm just talking about starchy carbs and sugars and ripe fruits. When you snack on them by themselves, they spike insulin. So the key is to make sure you balance your meals and always have a protein in every single meal. Now, keep in mind, you don't even want to eat protein by itself because it can spike insulin as well. So it's in your best interest to balance your meals and then get at least 7 hours of sleep per night. This regulates your cortisol and melatonin. And research shows that people who sleep less than 6 hours a night, it takes about 14 days before their cortisol cycle is all jacked up. And then the next thing to do is eat more protein because it regulates your hunger hormone ghrelin to help you control your appetite and cravings. Remember, when you eat protein, your body uses more calories digesting protein than it does fat or carbohydrates. So eating more protein and eating protein in every meal will naturally increase your metabolic rate. And the good hormone case study here is my buddy Stanton. And you can see he's 55 years old and he looks like he's in pretty decent shape in the before picture. I mean, he's not super fat or anything like that. He definitely has a foundation of muscle in place, but he wasn't optimizing his hormones. So now he started optimizing his hormones, and now he's got his whole family involved with our system because he's such a big believer in it. And this is a picture he took of a transformation contest that he actually won at his gym. Body transformation key number 2, you must customize your carb intake and cheat meals based on your activity level. And this is a big mistake most people make. Now, here is a chart that you can use. And again, you'll get the PDF of this presentation at the end that you can use to print out. And you'll see 3 columns here: sedentary, active, and high intensity exercise. And then on the left-hand side, you'll see the activity, or left-hand side, you see the type of nutrition. So if you're sedentary, your hormonal metabolic demands and needs are going to be completely different than a high intensity exerciser. And that's why you must customize your carb intake for faster results. So here's how carbs can improve hormonal and metabolic health. The first thing it can do is it can prevent metabolic slowdown. I'm not sure if the Biggest Loser contestants had a cheat meal, but my guess is they probably didn't, and they should. And then you must optimize your leptin sensitivity or your insulin sensitivity. So most people think that carbs will make you insulin resistant. Well, it's the type of carbs, and people who eat excessive amounts of processed carbs by themselves all the time, yes, that's going to lead to type 2 diabetes. But if you eat healthy carbs and you balance it out with protein, you'll actually optimize your insulin sensitivity so that less of those carbs are stored as body fat. And it'll also help optimize your thyroid. Remember, excessive amounts of cardio and low carb dieting have been shown to suppress T4 to T3 conversion. So by having a strategic refeed or a high carb meal at the right time, you're going to go ahead and optimize your thyroid sensitivity. You'll also optimize your testosterone to estrogen ratio, and then, of course, your leptin sensitivity, like I discussed earlier. So here's free tips to customize your carb intake for faster fat loss. So first of all, is time them the right way, right? So in the post-workout window, your muscles are like a sponge that's been wrung dry, and they want to suck up nutrients, especially carbohydrates, because you're going to store those carbs in your muscle and in your liver tissue. And research shows that after a workout, for a few hours after a workout, your body's ability to digest and store carbs is enhanced greatly. So it's in your best interest to eat your carbs post-workout. Or the other option is, like, I'm a morning workout guy. So what I'll do is about 2 hours before bed, I'll have a high carb meal on days before my weight training workouts, because that will give me the fuel that I need not only to recover while I sleep, but when I wake up in the morning, if I want to train in a fasted state, I'll still have energy stored in my muscles and my liver tissue to get me through a rigorous workout. The best carb combinations. Now, I just talked about this one. Never eat a starchy carb or sugar alone. It spikes insulin. So, for example, a green banana has a lot of resistant starch, and it really doesn't spike your insulin that much. But as it gets riper and turns into a spotted ripe banana, it contains way more sugar. So you should never eat that by itself because it will spike insulin. And then limit fat intake when you eat starchy or sugary carbs. You don't have to be overly anal about this, but I would try to keep your fat grams under 15 grams in meals that you're having a lot of carbohydrates. The reason why is because, remember, carbs raise insulin, and when insulin is your body's storage hormone. So when insulin is present in the bloodstream with fat, it could potentially take that fat and store it. So it's in your best interest just to make sure you keep your fat grams low and high carb meals. And then best part, portion control. It's simply clench your fist and look at it. That's about the average size of carbohydrate you need. You don't need to count calories. And here's a great carb case study, Monica from Ann Arbor. So After I sold my studios in Ann Arbor because we were building our online business, Get Leaner 12 here, Monica contacted me because she was a client of mine in Ann Arbor at our studio, and she had started doing CrossFit, and she kind of got hooked on it. She really liked it. So she did it 3 times per week. Of course, all these CrossFitters, they're obsessed with the paleo diet. So she was on a strict paleo diet, and they tell you to keep your carbs low. And I don't know why. I mean, a caveman could have easily dug up potatoes or picked squash and ate it, or picked ripe fruits, depending on the time of the year and the location on the globe. And she was doing cardio 3 times a week. She couldn't recover. She gained belly fat, and she told me she felt terrible. So I increased her calories immediately because she was in too much of a calorie deficit. She was suffering from what the Biggest Losers suffer from. I increased her starchy carbs strategically. So I had her intentionally add in ripe bananas, white rice, and potatoes into her post-workout meals at the right time in the right combinations. And I actually decreased her exercise time. And it didn't take but a week. And she told me she had lost 3 pounds and felt great again. So this is confirming once again that it's all about one thing: hormones. It's not about a calorie deficit. It's about hormones. Body transformation key number 3, you must create synergy between your diet and exercise plan. So always, always remember this. It's not your diet. It's not your cardio. It's not your resistance training. It's the synergistic effect of all 3 pillars working together that allows you to transform your body in record time. And that's why I created the Get Lean in 12 Synergy Triangle. So you can see it here. I like to call this fat loss for dummies because so many people overcomplicate this process. And our philosophy is the KISS principle: keep it stupid simple. I think I was joking about how you could say keep it simple stupid, but I don't want to call you stupid because you're on this webinar. So you're obviously a 5%er and you're smart, but you need to create synergy. So here's some free tips to do that. First thing you should do is you should alternate resistance training days with cardio days. And you can see this chart on a study that was performed. And there's 3 different groups: the DD group, the ES group, and the SE group. So the DD group is the different day group. This is the group that did cardio on one day and they did resistance training on alternate days. The ES group is endurance plus strength training. So this is a group that did their cardio first, then directly after cardio, they did strength training. And then the SE group did it the other way around. They did their strength training first, and then they followed it up with endurance training. Well, you can see from the blue bar that both the men and the women who did it on different days not only gained a lot more muscle, but lost significantly more body fat. Now, this isn't the be-all, end-all. You don't necessarily have to do this if you don't have the schedule that will allow it, but it is a great piece of advice to follow. So example, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday would be body weight training or weight training. Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, you'd cycle your cardio to prevent plateaus and stop exercise-induced adaptation. So you would do this by using a strategic combination of metabolic bursting, threshold intervals, and steady state cardio. And at the end of this presentation, I'm going to show you how to do that. So you could also cycle your calories and your carbs. So again, this is just an example because it's not customized for anybody, but you could have high carb days on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and you could have low carb days on Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, and maybe a cheat day or a cheat meal on Saturday or Sunday. And quick word about cheat meals, by the way. If you're not at your goal weight or near your goal weight, I don't recommend a cheat day. I just recommend you do a cheat meal till you get to where you want to be, and then you can kind of get away with a cheat day. A lot of times a cheat day, we get carried away, we binge or we stuff, and we take 2 steps forward, and all of a sudden we have this huge cheat day and we take 3 steps backwards. So just be strategic with your cheat meals. And this is a great synergy case study, 52-year-old Charlie Baldwin. So Charlie approached me in the gym. I was working out, and he had been working with a personal trainer for like 8 weeks. And he approached me in the gym frustrated because he felt like he was wasting his money. He wasn't getting results. So we got him into our studio. We created synergy with his diet and exercise plan. And the next thing you know, his wife, Denise, I was her best friend. She was ecstatic. He went completely off his type 2 diabetes medication in just 30 days. And his triglycerides dropped from 651 all the way down to a normal, healthy level. So thank you, synergy. And that is the power of creating synergy in your diet and exercise plan. Body transformation key number 4. You must create the right rewards and incentives. There's a couple ways to do this. One of them is the big deadline. So if you have a vacation coming up, or maybe you have a wedding, an anniversary, a special event, or a contest, I like to do photo shoots once a year. I know that if 8 weeks from now, I got to be in front of a camera, it changes my behavior today because every piece of food I'm putting in my mouth, I'm thinking about that date 8 weeks from now. And I'm looking at that food and I'm knowing I got to be in front of that camera. So it holds me accountable to the way I behave with my diet and exercise. The other thing is rewards are so important. We've talked about cheat meals and how you can use your favorite treats and cheat meals to optimize your hormone sensitivity and create a reward. Dangle the carrot. You see, if the pizza's in front of me on a Monday and I want it, I think about the photo shoot, and then I think about Saturday's cheat meal. Because if I eat that pizza today, come Saturday, I'm going to feel guilty about it. But if I avoid it today and I say no and I make healthy choices, come Saturday, I deserve that reward. So these deadlines and these rewards and these incentives are huge. The number one most powerful way to create the right rewards and incentives is to get accountability and coaching. There is no doubt about it. If I look at any area of my life, I achieve twice as much as I would with a coach than without a coach. You must seek some type of accountability and coaching. This is how you will guarantee your results. That's why I have a business coach, I have a life coach, and at times I've even had a nutrition coach myself just to hold myself accountable. So the coaching and accountability thing really is an evidence-based way to transform your body in record time, because you can look at the amazing results of people who get coaching and accountability. Just look at the results in every other area of their life. Self-confidence up 80%, improved relationships 73%, improved communication skills 72%, improved life-work balance 67%, right? So what about weight loss? Well, 2 separate studies show that people who use a coach lose 10% more weight than people who don't. And this is the most important part, they're able to keep it off for over 2 years afterwards, unlike 95% of the population who suffer from rebound weight gain. You can see a reference there at the bottom of the slide. So, and it can be done at any age. All you have to do is ask Teresa. She's 58 years old, and I really liked her story. What she said at the end was, it's not only can she finally feels like she can keep the weight off once and for all, but she had talked about how she lost her identity because she was a teacher and she retired. And she lost her identity, and when she was done with this contest, now her diet and exercise was fun, and she felt like she had her identity back. So a pretty powerful story. Congratulations, Teresa. Another study, Wittek from Poland, 41 years old. This guy completely transformed his body and his life. 80 pounds, fought off hypertension, got into the best shape of his life. I like how he was saying here, last week alone, I had over 20 people ask me how I did it, and I have you to thank. And he still communicates with us on Facebook. Then we started spreading the word about our unique approach on Facebook, and the feedback has been amazing there too. I mean, you can just see here, this guy Don in the middle there, 1 week watching, already 5 pounds dropped, amazing. So just by following our system, immediately the results come. Then you can look at William's results here. He said he's used our 12-minute workouts, and within a month he went from 182 to 168, lost 0 muscle. He was skeptical at first, and now it's a ritual following me. That's powerful stuff. Congratulations, William. So let's do a quick recap on the 4 most popular diet and exercise myths. Number 1, hormones are more important than calorie deficits for living longer and losing belly fat. Number 2, carbs do not make you fat. Remember the blue zones. Remember the 60-day potato diet. Number 3, small, frequent meals do not speed up your metabolism or increase weight loss. Yes, you can eat 4, 5, 6 small meals a day if you want to. It's just not necessary. And in my opinion, it becomes very cumbersome after a while. Number 4, the old advice of moving more and eating less only leads to metabolic damage and a slower metabolism. Remember the study I covered from The Biggest Loser. Now let's do a quick recap of the 4 keys that I just went over. Number 1, I gave you several methods to optimize your hormones. Number 2, I gave you a chart to customize your carb intake based on your activity level. Number 3, I explained exactly how to create synergy between your diet and exercise plan. Number 4, I showed you that getting coaching and accountability will guarantee your results and prevent rebound weight gain. So I have a few questions now. I want to make sure everybody's still alive out there and full of energy. Did you learn something valuable today, and do you feel more motivated? And if you did, do you think this type of approach can work for you? If you did, type yes in the chat. And did I earn the right to spend 10 minutes talking about how you can work directly with us to personalize your very own body transformation blueprint? If so, please type yes in the chat. And here come the yeses. Thanks, guys, for participating. Michael, Victoria, Chris, Jack, Sandra, Bo. Thank you, guys. All right. Would you be willing to invest a measly 5% of your time weekly if you knew for certain you could look better, feel better, have more energy, and dramatically improve the quality of every other area of your life? Or you could have a better marriage. You could experience deeper, more meaningful relationships with your children, your family, your friends, and your loved ones. You have more energy and vitality to keep up with your children or your grandchildren like we do. And top it all off, have a brand new, lean, healthy, and attractive body just by investing 5% of your time per week. If you want any of these benefits, type yes in the chat. So right now, I'm going to show you how we'll provide you with a proven blueprint. But there's one thing that I must cover first, and that is you have to be willing to take action. So here come all the yeses. Thanks, guys. A bunch of them rolling in. Wow. So first things first, this will require a small financial investment, and it's not for everybody. This is for the people, like I talked about at the beginning of this video, that are 5%ers and have the following 3 traits. You must be coachable and willing to follow simple instructions. You must be consistent but not perfect. So be willing to focus solely on progress, not perfection. Remember, when it comes to losing weight, getting fit, living longer, all that stuff, there's no such thing as perfection. We're all going to screw up once in a while. You just need to focus on being consistent, not perfect. And you must believe in yourself and the process. Remember, our case studies, if they can do it, so can you. And I have a saying, it's all about the BS. And it's probably not the BS that you're thinking about right now. I'm talking about your belief system, right? So usually when all is said and done, there's a lot more said than done. So you have to be willing to take action. So here's the requirements. We're going to ask that you commit to less than 2 hours per week of exercising. We have options for you to do more to get better results, but 2 hours is all that's required. You just have to do what we tell you to do. You won't need access to a gym or equipment because the training can be done anywhere for the first 4 weeks. So after that, we do recommend dumbbells and a bench or a ball. You can do it at home in front of a TV, for your mobile device, during lunch hour, traveling, on vacation, at the gym, in a park. All you need is your body weight for the first 4 weeks. For those who are beginners or out of shape, we provide modifications for each movement so that even with limitations, you should be able to use our 12-minute metabolic protocols. You'll also have to spend a few hours per week setting up your diet for long-term success. Now, Ben Franklin said it best: if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. So you must be willing to plan ahead. I know this is obvious, but I do have to share it. And 4 to 5 hours per week is a very small price to pay for transforming your body and dramatically improving the quality of every other area of your life. Now, just a quick note on all of this. Everything is delivered 1 week at a time digitally via a VIP private members only portal and a private Facebook support group. So when you start with our personalized coaching program, what ends up happening is the first 2 weeks are given to you automatically so you can plan ahead and get started. Then after that, we just give you everything a week in advance. So you have 1 week at a time. So you're not overwhelmed. You have a week to plan ahead for the next week, and you know exactly what to do week by week instead of looking at some course that has 20 ebooks in it. So no feeling overwhelmed with too much information or being confused about what to do next. It's all laid out step by step. You'll also have to, everything 1 week in advance, like I just said, so that you can plan ahead and stay on track. So introducing the Get Lean in 12 personalized fat loss coaching. Yes, this is the only 8-week body transformation blueprint specifically designed for you. So the details, the personalized coaching is done for a period of 8 weeks. Why 8 weeks? Because research shows that's an effective time frame to build habits and rituals in your life. Recent research led by a team at the University of College London in 2009 shows it takes at least 60 days to build new habits and then turn them into rituals. Most people talk about 21 days, 21 days, 21 days. No, research shows that 21 days is not long enough to build habits and rituals in your life. And you know, we all know it's much harder when it comes to food and exercise as well than it is with other areas. It's something that people struggle with. Otherwise, you know, almost 70% of the population wouldn't be overweight. And this is just another reason why people need coaching and accountability in their life in order to transform their bodies in record time, because it does take at least a few months. So just like Karen, just like Marty, Stanton, Monica, Charlie, Denise, and Teresa, and Wittick, every one of them is in their 40s and 50s. Everything is done for you, so all you have to do is plug in the key and turn it. So the first thing that we're going to give you is 60 days of done-for-you meal plans. This has a value of $99 per month. We'll customize meal plans for you, and you'll be able to log into the portal, and you'll download your personalized meal plan. Here's an example of it. We break everything down for you. Give you the type of diet day that you'll be following on that day, whether it's a deplete day, a low-carb day, a high-carb day. We'll show you how to do cheat meals the right way. We'll give you tricks and tips right in your meal plan, below your meal plan, that show you when you eat cheat food how to avoid fat storage. You'll know exactly the right food types and combinations, and then we'll provide healthy substitutions in case you have food allergies or you're just a picky eater. And then we'll give you flexible daily guidelines and directions. So if you want to eat 5 or 6 small meals a day, we'll show you how to do it. but then we're going to give you options for 3 or 4 meals, which is what we recommend. Next thing we're going to give you is 60 days of done-for-you exercise plan and training guide. So just like I talked about earlier, we're going to require you to exercise a couple hours a week, and we're going to give you options to do more if you want to take your results even further. This has a $99 per month value for a total value of $198. So weeks 1 through 4, we call body weight belly burn. So you're going to use movement patterns that activate your body's largest muscle groups simultaneously to release fat-burning hormones and burn maximum calories in only 20 minutes. There's 5 reasons that body weight training can keep you younger and leaner. Number 1, it fights chronic disease and helps control blood sugar. It gets you stronger and keeps you stronger than machines or even free weights because you're using multifunctional movements. Longevity, because it prevents injuries because of lower joint stress. You'll have an endless variety and modifications because you can do it anytime and anywhere. And then weeks 5 through 8 are what we call the growth hormone accelerator. Remember, we talked about somatopause, how important it is to optimize your growth hormone levels. So there is a big myth out there about bulking, and this is really common with women. They think if they lift weights, they're going to bulk up, and this is a myth. If you have an apple or a pear-shaped body and all you do is excessive amounts of cardio and diet down and put your body in a calorie deficit, you're just going to end up being a smaller pear or apple when you're done. Instead, you need to start adding in more resistance training, because this is what's going to give you lean, toned, sexy muscles so that when you do burn off the belly fat or the body fat that you want to get rid of, you have something lean, hard, and sexy to show for it. It'll also help you fight adaptation and plateaus because we're going to use specific rep ranges that are proven to release growth hormone and increase fat loss through direct muscle stimulation. We're going to provide the right rest periods, intensity levels, and exercise that are designed for your age, your gender, and your current condition. And we do recommend, obviously, you're going to need dumbbells with a bench or an exercise ball. It is required in weeks 5 through 8. We will give you body weight stuff that you can do instead, but it's recommended that by week 5, you have some dumbbells and a ball or a bench if you want to really maximize your results. Next thing we're going to do is give you 60 days of done-for-you meal replacements for busy people. Meal replacements are very powerful. Not only will these meal replacements give you a perfect ratio of macros, blood sugar stabilizing ingredients, so we'll make sure the combinations of these meal replacements will stabilize blood sugar, and it really is a zero effort way to increase protein intake. And there's actually science that proves meal replacements and healthy smoothies can help you avoid unhealthy meals. It can help you consume fewer calories, decrease your appetite, and curbs cravings. It can fill in the missing gap in your diet. Remember, a cup of spinach from today has about 17 times less vitamins and minerals than a cup of spinach from the 1950s. So it's important that you fill in the missing gap with things like protein shakes and meal replacements and smoothies. So it also will increase your protein intake automatically, which research shows helps you lose more weight, decreases your appetite, increases your metabolic rate, prevents muscle loss, and also prevents rebound weight gain. The next thing we're going to give you is 60 days done-for-you supplementation program. Now, this is not mandatory, but it is recommended just because of what I just said about the nutrients in our diet today, the depletion of the soil. We just do not get what we need from regular food. Most of us don't, and it's very hard to do that, and that's why supplementation can help. Again, it's not mandatory, but it can help. And a few quick facts about supplements. I just talked about the spinach, the soil depletion, and the pesticides. Did you know the average apple from a supermarket is 12 to 14 months old? I mean, it's hard to believe they sit there for that long and then we go eat them. There are also 4 natural supplements that are research backed to be as powerful as drugs. And then there's essential versus non-essential vitamins, minerals, or macronutrients. So an example is omega-3 fatty acids. Our body doesn't produce that, so we have to get it from an outside source. Well, eating a piece of salmon every week is not going to be enough, and this is when you need to consider supplementation. Again, completely optional, but we will provide you with a step-by-step plan. We'll also give you a done-for-you follow-along success tracker, and this will be black and white so that you can print it off. This really, I mean, we talk about a $49 per month value being a total value of $98, but when you really look at this, there's science behind why this is so important. It seems so trivial and little, but there are 2 published weight loss studies showing that tracking your success will ensure that you're going to stay more consistent. One study showed people who use a success tracker want to exercise more, and the second study showed those who use a success tracker enjoy dieting and exercise more. And I think that's the whole goal of a success tracker is you want to make sure that when you think about your diet and exercise plan, that it's anchored to pleasure and not pain. And I think that's what most of us do is we anchor some type of nutrition plan or diet and exercise plan to pain rather than pleasure. So using a success tracker will teach you how to anchor your success to pleasure. So the entire coaching package has a real value of $650. Now, since you're attending this training, you won't have to pay anything close to this, but just keep in mind, our local private clients have paid $5,000 to $10,000 for one-on-one personalized coaching from us. We've had people, honestly, I've had clients spend $30,000 with us. Today, you can get the same type of coaching for only a fraction of the cost. Plus, you also get the following bonuses. We're also going to throw in weekly done-for-you paleo-style fat-burning recipes from Karen. Karen has a knack for taking all your favorite comfort foods, your favorite home-cooked recipes, hacking them, making them healthy. And I swear, every time her and I go to a restaurant, we spend a bunch of money on food, I look at her and I shake my head because her food is so much better. So we could have just saved the money and stayed home. So you're going to have access to these on a weekly basis, and that's a $98 value. So what Karen has done is she's taken all these recipes and she just swaps out the fat storing ingredients and puts in fat burning ingredients. Then we'll provide you food swaps if you have allergies or other limitations. No calorie counting necessary, no culinary degree required, easy to make recipes, delicious gourmet taste, family friendly, even the kids will love it. Our grandkids love her meals, her healthy meals. So affordable, and the right carbs will be included to help you optimize your hormones and maintain a healthy metabolism. And who wants to going low carb temporarily can be effective. Don't get me wrong, but who wants to live life not eating carbs? I'm sorry. I know the ketogenic diet is very popular. It can be very beneficial for obese people who have type 2 diabetes, but is it really fun not to eat carbs? So in my opinion, not only should we eat carbs for metabolic health, it just makes your diet and exercise more fun. Bonus number 2 is 12-minute follow-along express workouts for busy people. This is a $199 value. So you'll be able to access these from your device, and just using your body weight, you'll be able to fall back on this. So we designed this specifically for people who don't have time to get to the regular workouts and they need something to fall back on. This is the same workouts that Karen and I use when life happens and family comes into town and we don't want to be rude and go into the gym for a couple hours. So we just use these 12-minute express workouts. So they're specifically designed to increase fat-burning growth hormone 400 to 700%. Like I mentioned earlier, they can be done anytime, anywhere. They're body weight only, so no equipment required. They can be accessed from any device, like I just mentioned, and it's the perfect backup plan when life happens. Bonus number 3, and this is very important, is a VIP private Facebook support group, $199 value. So the reason that we included a support group is because that's what's going to hold you accountable, right? There is research in science. The psychology shows it's much easier to stick with a weight loss plan when you have a support group. You can share tips with each other. You can help each other. You can stay accountable, right? Like accountability is the biggest thing. And so when you are part of the Get Lean in 12 weight loss community, it will play a prominent role in your motivation and weight loss efforts. Share testimonies, recognition for success, accountability, friendly competition, and humor. All of these things cultivate the convenience and the non-judgmental interactions that will ensure your success. You'll also get an extra 4th bonus, and that is frontline VIP customer support. So you'll have access to a private email address that nobody else has. Only our personalized coaching clients will have this address that gives you one-on-one support. And I say this is priceless because you'll get very timely answers, unlike our other support, which is flooded every day with all kinds of stuff. So let's break this down. Get Lean in 12 personalized fat loss coaching main package has a $650 value. The Done For You recipes have a $98 value. The 12-minute follow-along express workouts for busy people have a $199 value. The VIP private Facebook support group has a $199 value. And then, of course, we have our frontline VIP customer support. So the total value of the package is $1,146. And so before I share the deep discount that you're going to get today, I have one more question. If you lost 3 pounds per week, which I think is very doable, for the next 12 weeks or just 8 weeks, would you be at your ideal weight? If so, please type yes in the chat. And if not, just ask yourself, how much closer would you be to your goal if you lost 3 pounds a week for the next 8 to 12 weeks? So, and let's not forget the other intangibles, right, that we have been discussing. This isn't about just a better body and a better quality of life. This is about every area improving dramatically. the impact. You'll look better naked. You'll have better love life and relationships. You'll have more energy for your kids. You'll have a new level of confidence and self-esteem. You'll have more focus and productivity. And here come the yeses rolling in. All right. Thank you for participating. Sherry, Victoria, Chris, Jason. So personalized fat loss coaching is the fastest way to transform your body and every other area of your life. So hopefully now you can see why this program is for you and why it's not an expense when you look at it through these lenses. It's the best investment you can make in yourself, your family, and your future. Now let's make sure you can afford it. So we broke it all down for you, a total value of $1,146. Well, for public price, what we'll do is we usually take $299 off. So our normal public price would be $847. But here's how you can save $650 by being on this webinar. If you can do one thing, if you can promise to share your case study with us after you go through the 8-week personalized coaching program, because by then you'll be in the best shape of your life. And you promise to share your testimony with us, and before and after pictures aren't required, but they are highly recommended. So it's all we ask, and we'll give you a $650 discount on this webinar only. So break it all down again, $650 total package. Then you have the 4 bonuses, a total value of $1,146. And then we're also going to give you 2 payment options. So take $650 off the normal public price. It's $197. Now, if that's too much for you today, then we'll give you a 2 payment option that you can use where you can pay $125 now and then $125 30 days from now for a total of $250. So now you can get the same results for a fraction of what a personal trainer and dietitian costs. Typically $50 to $75 an hour. And don't forget, we also have a 90-day money-back guarantee. So remember, the program's only 8 weeks, right? It's only 8 weeks, so that's 60 days. So you have 30 days after it's over with, when you still have access to the porthole and all your customized stuff. If you're still not satisfied after 90 days, we'll be more than happy to refund you your money. Now, this is the last powerful incentive I want to share with you, and this is something that we're deeply passionate about. You can help us save lives. For every person who joins today, we'll donate $25 to provide fresh, clean water to needy families and children. Listen, it only takes $1 to give a needy child fresh water for almost 90 days. Now, last year, we did this with our Over 40 app solution. We were able to donate $29,792 to install fresh water wells to help thousands of people in Nicaragua, India, and Honduras. And now you can be a part of our life-changing cause. So again, here's the breakdown of the complete value of the entire package. And then here's your payment option. So personalized coaching program starts next Monday, but you can start tomorrow if you want to. So we start it every week. And I know today's, if you wanted to start it, you can start it immediately, just so you know. But then again, it's delivered to you via a porthole on a weekly basis. So each week, when you start your week, you'll have had a week in advance to plan ahead and be ready for everything that we give you. So remember, we can only take so many people. If we get more than 50 people, we're not going to be able to give you the attention that you need. So because of the personal attention that is needed, we can only take 50 people. So this special discount is only available during this webinar. So take advantage right now. There's a button should be to the right of your screen. I'm the admin here and the presenter, so I might be seeing things differently than you are, but you can click it. And when you go to the bottom, you scroll to the bottom of that page, you'll also see your free gifts. Now, if you click that link to the right, you will not leave the webinar. It'll open up in a separate window, and then the free gifts are at the bottom of that page. So at the bottom of the checkout page, you'll see a link where you can download this entire presentation in a PDF format, and then you'll also be able to download the audio that I recorded for you on our Get Lean in 12 Superstars. So do you have any questions? If so, you can type them in the chat so we can answer them for you. And remember, if I don't get to your question today, when you type it in the chat, it will be automatically forwarded to our support team so they can assist you. So are you still on the fence? Remember, our 90-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to lose and everything to gain except belly fat. What if this could be the tipping point for you to finally achieve the value you so deeply desire? I mean, with a 90-day money-back guarantee, you really have nothing to lose. It's either the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. 8 weeks from now, you're going to look back, and you're either going to be happy you did this because you've transformed your body and you've dramatically improved every other area of your life, or you're going to look back and regret that you didn't do it because it's so hard to stay consistent without coaching. So again, $197 or 2 payments of $125. And don't forget about your 2 free gifts. So I want to thank everybody for taking time out of the busy day to attend. I'm going to look at these questions here. If you have any questions, you can also send an email to support@getleaner12.com. Remember, too, when you type it in here, if I don't answer it today, it will be forwarded to our support team to give you customer service. All right, I'm going to try to turn on the webcam. Okay. All right. So here I am. So sitting out here on the lanai, and I'm just looking here. Hold on, I'm trying to get centered. What if you purchase your over 40 program already? Is this different? It uses the same philosophies, but this is customized. So one thing about the over 40 Absolution is the same exact philosophies as this coaching program, but it's not personalized to your needs. So this is going to be personalized. What's going to happen is when you take action and you join today, you're going to be sent to an intake form. And on that intake form, we're going to ask you some questions, not a ton of questions, just some specific questions that will allow us to customize the meal plan and the exercise plan for you. So hopefully that answers. I am actually starting cycle 1 carb depletion. Should this be done first? If you can do it, yes, it should be done first. And it's something that we recommend everybody does. You'll see when we personalize your meal plans for the first couple weeks, depending on your level of condition, we will put you on a deplete week. The second week will include more fruits. And the reason we do this is to get your body fat adapted, right? Because what's happening is if you're just eating a regular diet or an unhealthy diet for a lengthy period of time, what ends up happening is your body becomes addicted to burning carbs and sugars instead of belly fat. So we have to spend a couple weeks getting tricky with carb manipulation to get your body fat adapted so that your body will use fat as its primary fuel source every time you move and eat, rather than just burning up carbs and sugar. Now, it'll also enhance your body's ability to deplete and replenish glycogen in your muscle and liver tissue. And this is a catalyst to faster fat loss. I see a personal trainer 3 times a week. Okay. I wouldn't want to stop. How can the program work if this is the case? You would just take the 3 workouts that your personal trainer is giving you and replace the workouts that we give you with them. Or vice versa, if you could talk your trainer into using ours, which you're probably not going to be able to do. But yeah, you could follow our meal plans. You could follow our, all the other advice, and then just 3 of your workouts per day. I'm going to, like we talked about, alternating weight training days with cardio days. Like, that's not mandatory, but we recommend it. So we're going to give you a complete plan, and then you can just plug in your workouts from your personal trainer if you want. So also, I have an underactive thyroid and I'm on Synthroid. Any success stories from your clients? You know what? It's a case-by-case basis. We've had some clients that, Karen's an example. She was on thyroid meds for a long, long time, and we just started adding iodine-based foods to her diet more frequently. And now she only takes a half a dose of what she used to, and she wants to go completely off. She has to wait till she gets her next blood test go. So the answer is it's a case-by-case basis. I can't guarantee it will help, but it is designed to help all your hormones. Is there any blood test needed? Absolutely not. No blood test needed at all. We just have a little intake form. It's very simple intake form that allows us to customize everything for you. Let's see, what else do we have on here? I have been on the Over 40 Absolution for 2 weeks. This is starting week 3. How is this different? I would like to finish 8 weeks, then possibly try Geo's. Oh, got it. So again, it just goes back to customization. So, I mean, the best diet and exercise plan that you can follow, in all honesty, is one that you can adhere to. This just provides you an extra level of customization and accountability because of the support that we give you both via email and in the Facebook support group. So that's really the big difference maker. That's where the value is at here, is the accountability, because it ensures that you're going to follow through. But it sounds like you're doing great, and congrats so far if you've had success. So she's talking about switching cheat meals here and there. So here's the deal. Remember that we're going to give you flexible guidelines. So I'm going to show you how you can move around certain days, and if you want to have a cheat day on a different day, how to do that within the program. It's pretty simple to do. You're just going to swap a couple days. That's all you're going to do. See, I don't see any other quote on here. It looks like that's it. All right. Well, if anybody else has got any more questions, go ahead and type it in the chat. Like I said, if I'm not here to answer, it will be forwarded right to our email, so we'll take great care of you, I promise. We pride ourselves on giving amazing customer service. It's 1:09, so I went 9 minutes over here answering questions. I appreciate you guys being patient, taking time out of your busy day to check this out. And I'm going to go ahead and end the webinar now. And remember, no matter what, if you don't get off your butt and take action today, at least go to the checkout page, scroll down to the bottom, and download your free gifts so you have all this information in one easy-to-access spot. Because whether you take action and join our program or not, we still want you to improve we still want all this for you. You know, we want you to transform your body and your life because it's blessed our lives in ways we can't imagine. So we do have a deep passion and obligation for sharing that with others. So thanks for watching, everybody. Have a great day and keep going strong.